Welcome everyone to the No Bad Hops podcast. I'm your host Anthony, and today I am joined by Jason Anderson. You may know him from Instagram as Ginter Gold Fever. Jason, thanks for joining me.
Right on, Anthony. Good to be here, man. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. We're talking today because I've been following you for a long time, but it's a little bit appropriate timing wise because the new Topps Allen and Ginter product just came out last week, I believe.
That's right.
Uh, it's a product that you are passionate about. It's within the baseball collecting hobby, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about because it's unique in its own right, but the community and everything around it also is a unique thing. So I thought it'd be cool to have you on and talk a little bit about your collecting and how you got to where you are here and just you in general. Just to find out a little bit more about what makes you the Ginter Gold guy.
Right on, man. I'm excited. You could talk to my wife. I could talk about cards all day long. She's probably tired of hearing about it. We could just keep going all night.
All right, well, we're gonna get started, but to get started, we need relax a little bit and have a beer. So, what are you
Right.
drinking tonight?
I have a Athletic Brewing Run Wild IPA. It's a non-alcoholic IPA, and it's delicious.
Yeah, Athletic does a great job with the IPAs. You wouldn't know that there was no alcohol in them. They have a great flavor to them, so
They
I do
do. Yeah.
appreciate them.
What do you have?
I tried to stay on brand. Since we're talking about cards, I have an other half brewing, uh, called the Collector,
Okay,
the Juice
nice.
Collector actually. So it's featuring I think it's the 76 tops design in the background. Um,
Yeah.
so it's by Other Half Brewing. They're a big brewery here in New York, and they got a couple of locations: DC, Philly, and upstate New York. So um, yeah, I thought it'd be fitting.
You find the most unique beers and brews ever. I'm always amazed by all of the posts that show all the different kinds of brews that you're trying. So that's pretty awesome in itself.
Yeah, the fact that I can get my hands on so many baseball beers sometimes amazes me. So it's awesome, and sometimes they actually fit with real baseball things. So the ones that don't, I can make it work. So I do enjoy that. It's one of the things I enjoy here.
I love it. I love it. Nice.
All right, well, let's crack these open.
Okay, let's do it.
There you
Yeah.
go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice
Just
little
like the
IPA.
real thing, Anthony. The real thing.
Excellent. Well, that's what I like to hear. And as long as it tastes good and it's that's all you need.
That's right.
Uh, so let's start a little bit about you. How'd you get into baseball cards collecting? Where did that begin for you?
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's hard to know. You're just born this way, unfortunately or fortunately. I always collected all kinds of stuff. My mom would always talk about me collecting chip bags. I'd be the kid at the end of class, grabbing all the pens and pencils and bringing them home into my little pen and pencil case. Um, I've collected movie posters, movies. What else here? I mean, action figures, obviously cards, all kinds of different cards too. For a long time there, I was collecting, Heritage, Gypsy Queen, all the years of Allen and Ginter, and then a bunch of art cards too, like official art cards. And so, yeah, I'm just a sentimental person at my core, and I really try to control that so it doesn't get out of control at this point. But growing up, I always had a really clean, well organized room, but it had tons of collections everywhere. So hard to say exactly where it came from. My mom is a collector too, so I assume I saw a lot of that growing up. She still does some collecting, so yeah, she cursed me.
Well, I will say my wife and I just had this conversation because our both of our children are collectors as well. Whether it's rocks or erasers or whatever it is. Today we found a collection of axolotls for my little son. He's got a turtle shelf, so it's we've
Oh man.
somehow passed that on as well.
Oh man, it's fun. It's fun. There's so much philosophy around collecting too that I've tried to learn more about and just get self-reflective about it, and it's really interesting to hear more of this story. So I'm glad we're chatting about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you collected everything. Do you still collect other things, or have you kind of laser focused it down to the Topps Allen Ginter collection?
Yeah, I'd say 99% of my collection is Topps Allen Ginter, and it's just one year, 2006 Topps Allen Ginter. So I've gotten really disciplined about what I'll let myself collect and then how I collect, which is why there's this supreme, focus and obsession on this one set that I know I love. And so it that occupies most of my mind, I'd say. There's a few like Pop Fly Pop Shop. They do
Yeah.
almost every week. They do a comic inspired baseball art print, and love that. I love the whole concept of that, and so I collect a lot of those. There's a few other artists who make custom art cards that I collect. I think that's mostly it. There's a few other things on my shelf over here that if I ever had the time to like go through with any kind of wisdom, that'd be fun. But it's not much. It really is mostly 2006 Topps Allen and Ginter at this point.
And for those who don't know, I'm gonna just show off. I do have a new box of the 2025s.
Very nice.
I figured I'd pick it up. We're fully on theme here at the podcast today. So
You really are, man. You are prepared. I love this.
but what about the 2006? Sorry, 2006 doesn't sound right. The 2006 version of the Allen Ginter that really like solidified, because it wasn't the first one of them. And did you start with the first, like, get into it 20 years ago? I think it's the 20-year anniversary of it.
Yep, 20 years. So the 2006 was the first set of the new version of this. So
Okay.
I think there's a lot of sentimentality in it as well. My A's were such a big deal at the time. We had Frank Thomas and Swisher and Xavi, and we had my favorite Bobby Crosby and a bunch of other guys. I was going to a bunch of baseball games every year, and I was kind of casually collecting cards back then, and I went to a local festival in a local town here. My LCS had a booth there. I bought a grab bag just to be nice and support the LCS, and I still remember pulling out that Randy Johnson base card and just staring at it. It was something about it just connected with me deeply, obviously. And I love the design of it. It's a very simple, mostly white card, kind of like a sepia cream, color too. So I love when new things are made to look old.
Yes.
That's always been a design theme that I've loved. So that struck me. I love the portraits on these. These are not action shots for the most part. They're portraits, picture day portraits that I love. It kind of shows these athletes as human instead of just athletes and players. So I've always loved that about it. And there's a million other things that I don't know why it grabbed me the way it did, but I think those are some of the bigger ones. The design is just flawless. I mean, it's a perfect homage to those original 1880s original first color baseball playing cards back in the days. It wasn't just baseball. They had billiards players, they had champions of all different sports, which they brought back into this set as well. So I just love all that about it, and it's really sustained over time. I've for a long time there, I would go back and look at the collection, and I'd always spend more time on the 2006 than the rest of the years. And then around 2018, 2019, I just decided this is what I want to collect. I'm going to get rid of everything else almost, and so that's been helping to fund it all.
Wow. So sometimes I think, yeah, I want to just like liquidate everything I got and go for like a certain thing and like really hone in my collecting so that I'm not all over the place. And then like I'll see something new and I'm like, those are pretty darn cool though. So I don't know how I can resist,
Oh my God.
the new Topps, the each year the Topps has been doing the 35th anniversary edition of their design. So it was just the 1990, and it's like 88, 89, 90. That's like when that was like the height of my collecting. It's like, how do I not want an Aaron Judge in a 1990 design? Like It's hard to pass up.
So hard not to, especially with Judge too. That guy doesn't make a bad card, so you could just
No,
collect all of his cards and be a happy man.
absolutely, and I think that's one of my downfalls here.
No, I
uh,
know it is. It's hard to resist a lot of what you see in the space. They do a great job of all kinds of different things, but it gets hard sometimes, to resist something. But when I go back to just the why I collect 2006, it's always an easy decision, by the time I get to the point of actually paying for something. So, so far I've been able to resist.
yeah. So when a new product like when the new Allen and Ginters come out, what is your like interaction with them? What I've been watching. You open a lot of cards, uh,
Yeah.
do a lot of breaks. So like, what are how when you're doing that? Is there ever like a ooh, I think I'm gonna hold on to this one, or like this guy, this little subset is a really like means something a little more. Is there ever any of that with some of the newer ones that are coming out?
They're every year. Every year there's a temptation. I'll still, Stephen Dubner was in the set in 2022, and he's a hero of mine. I'm a recruiter by trade. I just interview strangers for a living, and Stephen Dubner, the way he does his podcast, Freakonomics, the way he does that, the way he interviews people, he's an inspiration. So I started super collecting his cards, so I've gotten a good amount of those at this point. So once in a while, if there's a subject who just is somebody I know that I need to collect, I'll do that. He's the last one I did that with. I honestly can't think of another one. Like I'll pick up some Western people, Western plates, like Wild Bill, or I don't know, some others. This year is a special year because it's the 20th anniversary and because I have a card in the set. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more special on my side. So I'm picking up these N222s, these mini subsets. I'm going to do these. I love that it's portrait and action. It kind of reminds me of the old Kimball's Champions as well. So I love those. There's the tin types that are new this year that I bought one. It's on its way here. I'm going to see how it feels when it gets here and just look at it and see, what kind of a connection it has with me. But that is very tempting. I love tin types. So, once in a while, something will grab a hold of me. This year's a little bit more special, so I felt like I should collect something. So I'm glad that they have these guys in it. But otherwise, though, man, I stay pretty disciplined, so it's not as hard to resist.
Nice.
But I rip every year because I want to be a part of it all. I want to just experience the new product. I want to maintain some level of subject matter expertise as people are, coming to my account and asking questions. And luckily, we've got a big community now of people that know way more than I do about so many other years other than 2006. So you can always get an answer for somebody, but I just like to be involved. I let go of almost everything that I rip every year. It's just nice to experience it.
Absolutely, and as you said, the community that's kind of built around. First of all, the hobby has a big community in itself,
Yeah.
but more specifically, the community that collects Allen and Ginter. I think you have kind of helped to also kind of bring together in certain ways as well. Just through your account, your Instagram, and the connections that you've been able to form. Talk
Yeah.
about like that a little bit. Like how have you met people that have become friends, or people you talk to on a more regular basis because of baseball cards?
Yeah. I mean, I'm smiling because there's a lot of them. I mean, we've got the Ginter Nuts, who are this group of 8 of us who are just obsessed with different pieces of Ginter, and so we have an Instagram thread. We're in there talking about all kinds of different subjects every day. So it's been this really cool, helpful, valuable, and just kind of lovely community overall. Not just of the Ginter Nuts, but by extension, so many other people on Instagram are starting to share more of their Ginter cards. They're starting to talk more about it, and it's been really nice to just kind of see them pop up in some interesting little nooks of the hobby. It has, I mean, it's every day. We're talking every day. These are good card friends. I have not met most of them. We had a Ginter greet up, as we called it, at the last national, and we had probably, like, I'd say 12 to 15 people show up there. The Topps team came over and chatted with us too, and so that was really cool. It's just been it's been just when I started the page 5 years ago now, I didn't expect any of this. I started the page just looking for cards, which is always the goal. The main goal is acquisition, of course, but the community is like this just amazing product of what we've all been doing online. And Instagram, by far, of all the communities out there, the Instagram community has just been the most supportive, the most inclusive, the most celebratory community out there, and that helps collectors. Even if it doesn't help you collect more, it helps you appreciate the things you have more too. So it's been a really fun part of it all.
That's awesome. So you said 5 years ago. That would put it in during the pandemic.
Yes.
Was it an outgrowth of like, hey, I'm home. I'm sure that's how most of us got where I started doing this a lot more. It's like, I'm gonna talk more about baseball and beer. And I was home, and there was a lot of baseball and beer around. Well, not a lot of baseball, but a lot of baseball cards. I was collecting a lot more because there was really not much else to do.
Yeah, I mean, like 2018, 2019, I started really focusing on 2006, and then pandemic happens. We're all home all the time. That's when I really kickstarted getting rid of everything else. I was in the garage, just going on eBay, listing things, and I was just kind of thinking about how else I could find cards. I wanted to find cards before they hit the market. I didn't want to just wait for things to show up on eBay. I really wanted to be super proactive. And so Instagram was something I had a personal account on for a long time, and I'd seen a good amount of cards there. And I decided, along with starting some Facebook groups and eventually started a website, I just needed to make sure people knew what I collect, and that if by some stroke of luck they would see my page and reach out with something I need, that would be awesome. That has happened many times now, and that wasn't that was the goal originally, but the way it has shown up and the way that it has was never the goal. I just started posting some cards. I didn't want to just put a card up on my page. I wanted to kind of put some art behind it, and so I started doing some flat lay stuff and just making it a little bit unique at the time, and that was everything, making it a little bit more unique. I think that made the cards more special in the community, but also for myself even too. It kind of, like, people ask me why I collect, and a lot of times I can just say, just please go to my page, look at the art I make that's inspired by these cards. That kind of shows you why I collect and what's so important about it for me. So started around that time in the pandemic, and I'm almost posting every day for the last 5 years. I've got the weekly reel now. It's just evolved into this, alter ego, really. At times it's if I'm not thinking about my family or work, I'm thinking about Ginter Gold Fever, and I'm thinking about Ginter cards. So it's been just a great outlet overall.
No, that's awesome. And you said you were able to get a lot of cards through your Instagram. Like, when you started with the 2006s, how many did you have, like, to start? And you're like, all right, this is where I'm going with these. And it's a specific, you have all the 2006s, but right now there's a specific white whale, I would say, out there for you, and ones that you've been looking for. How many did you start with, and how many did you get through Instagram and through the community?
Yeah, it's a good question. I really need to do some analytics on, like, where it all comes from. Instagram, eBay, obviously number one. I'd say Instagram is easily number two. Facebook's probably number three, and then everything else is pretty scattered. Let me think here. So back in 2020, I had the base set, I had the regular mini base set, I had the I think I had the A&G mini set then. I did not have so going back on what I had the relic set, and I think from a set perspective, there's 16 subsets. Oh, I had the postcards, and I had the Dick Perez inserts. So I had a lot of the easier sets to build, and then it honestly just took off. I got my first printing plates probably in 2020, and now I've got almost 200 of those. I hit the 10% of all of existence last year, so that was a fun, like I thought that would be a long time life milestone. I hit that last year, so now I'm just anything else I get is gravy at this point. Um, all that, I mean, I'll fast forward and say now I'm one card away from the full 2,344 card set across those 16 subsets, and it's this just annoying Vernon Wells Bazooka Back Mini of 25. There's only 25 of them. It's Vernon Wells. These guys are stuck in boxes somewhere. Nobody thinks they're worth anything. And to me, it's like the most important card I'll ever find. And to them, it's a $15 value card. So it's so weird thinking about that as like this final card that I need. And then beyond that, I'm always going to add more one-of-one wood minis. I'm always going to add more of the printing plates. I love the printing plates. There's something about them that is very, very tintype-esque that I've always loved, and so it's so cool to see actual tintypes in the set this year. Yeah, I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'll let you help me.
No,
Please.
it's perfect. So you said it's the Vernon Wells, the Bazooka Back Mini that is out there somewhere. Do you ever?
Yes.
First of all, have you ever dreamt about this card? Like, has there ever been a dream where this card is involved? And what do you think the scenario is when you eventually find it? If hopefully, knock on wood, we're finding this.
Yeah, knock on wood indeed. It's funny you say that. I often dream about cards acquisition, and sometimes it's weird. You dream about, I dreamt about a printing plate coming on eBay, and then a couple hours later, there's a printing plate on eBay, and so it's kind of funny how that works out. But that could be any day. So it's coincidental maybe. So yes, I do dream about the Vernon Wells Bazooka Back. I think the scenario most likely is there's 25 of these. There are some older Allen Ginter collectors from way back in the day who are not on social media. Ginter collectors in general are not known for being on social media. You can kind of tell that from, just the Instagram that we see. I think
The old-timey look does not lend itself to the younger crowd, is what you're saying?
No, I think there's that, but they're such recluses. I mean, I'm kind of reclusive in my private life too, so I get it, but I want to find more cards. So I think in the end, what will happen is maybe, sadly, we'll see some older collectors pass away, and their kids will help, or we'll just see some older collectors be ready to let go of things, and they'll get help from somebody else. I've talked to a good amount of collectors who are in that situation, and it's always been fun to help in those ways too. And so that's been kind of a part of the Ginter preservation part of my whole mission, is preserving these cards and getting them in the right collections and all that. But I think that's honestly what's going to happen. There's one guy I know who has it for his full bazooka set, and he's not getting rid of it, and I'm not asking him to break up his set. There's another guy who says he has it. He's slow rolling me on eBay. He says he's eventually going to post it. He's got a process though, and I can appreciate a good process. He's listing very rigorously, and so hopefully we get there soon. I'd love to finish that this year. That would be 20 years all in, on the 20th year anniversary. It'd be so nice to be able to complete that. But yeah, I've been patient enough, so I'll just keep being patient with him. But that's another example of an older collector who's just finally ready to let go of some things, getting on eBay and starting to list them. So I think that's more than likely the situation. But I'm open to being surprised. I'll take any scenario as long as it's in my collection. I don't care.
Will there be like a party, a feast of what will the reaction? Do you know like what that feeling will be like? Will there be tears? Will it just be overjoyed? Like I don't know.
Yes.
Like for something that you've been like hoping for and looking for, and it's like wow, I finally like that's a big sense of accomplishment. So I don't know how like what the reaction might be.
I think so. I got close one time. There was a guy who eventually ended up scamming me, unfortunately, but had a beautiful picture of this card and was very believable. And I remember paying for it and thinking it was on the way home, and it was a weird feeling. There was a lot of relief. There was a lot of like, I still will be obsessed over finding all the rare cards that I can of this set, but I could relax a little bit about not finding this one card and asking and annoying everybody constantly about finding it. So relief, but what will happen for sure is we're gonna celebrate. I'll do some kind of giveaway. We'll do some kind of a hangout on Instagram. Ideally we could figure out something at some national one year where we get more Ginter collectors there. But absolutely, we'll be celebrating. We're celebrating anything we possibly can. But that'll be a big one. There's definitely going to be some giveaways. I'm sure there'll be some tears in some ways. But I think there'll be a lot of relief and a lot of excitement, and hopefully I can just kind of share that feeling of completion with everybody that is so kind enough to join me in any of my lives. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. It's fun to even plan for that, Anthony. Honestly, I should probably spend more time thinking about what that will be like, and just maybe manifest it that way.
Yeah, put it in the atmosphere, put it out, put the aura out there, the vibes, all those keywords that people use to get it out there, like a vision board with that a photo of it on there. We'll manifest it. I think I got all the terms.
I'll try anything. Yes. So you just let me know what might work. I'll do it.
All right. I'll see what I can do on my end. I mean, I'm very limited in my. I will say, when I first found your page, and like you had the list of what you were looking for, I don't have a lot of Allen Ginter. I was like, I look through everything. I'm like, let me just make sure, because I don't want to be one of those people that has it in a box and just never looked, because like, I didn't have it then. I did, but yep. I do not have it. I am not one of those 25 people.
Man, I was so hoping that's why we had this podcast today. You were just going to put up the card right here and say, guess what? Your chase is over.
That would, honestly, that's my new goal in life. The next time I invite you on, that'll be the reason. So.
Oh my God. I can't wait to get another invite from you then. This is going to be amazing.
If I can track it down anywhere. And I will say, I have looked, like, when I go to card shows, I'm always like, let me see what they got around. If there's any, I do look around, because, I've been following you for a long time now, and enjoy everything that you do. The artwork behind everything you said. I love to see the frames, the way that you present the cards itself.
Thank you.
And just the community. I'm part of your Instagram community. What the group, I guess it's called. So it's enjoyable. You have a good way about sharing the hobby with people, and I think that's what brings people together, and especially around this.
I appreciate that, man. That's really nice to hear. It definitely is the goal. It's I try to help out every collector I possibly can. That's one of the benefits of this community, is that it's not just me answering questions or finding cards. We all look out for each other as much as you can. There's only so much of that you can do, but if you're at shows looking around for people, I'm texting them, sending them pictures, just trying to help out any way you can. I get a lot of those requests on my side, and I try to write down and track everything so that once something does pop up, we can help, and hopefully people continue to do that for me and other Ginter fans too. That's we can all help each other. So I think the community is such an undervalued part of the way people collect. I think it's getting better for sure. There's all kinds of different communities that exist within the hobby, but I think people really underestimate the power of what can come from it. It's not just another relationship that you have to manage. It is that, and that's fun, but it's also this great outlet to talk about things you love. You have a deeper appreciation for it, and you might find some cards that people need. So it's just been really special.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned it. You have a special connection to the 2025s because you're in it this year. So
crazy, right?
Can you show off the card? You have how many? I'd like to hear the story on how you got your own Topps card.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll go through some of it with you here. Here's the card. This is not the official card. This is one of the friends and family cards that they sent me home with. So I got a stack of these that I can use. I have the title of Ginfluencer here. I think it's probably backwards for your pictures here, but that's me. That's me as my logo, my mascot. And honestly, I think it's hard to know exactly. Like, I talked to the director of brand. I asked him, hey, why? Why did you put me in the set? And he basically, I mean, it was a simple answer of just it made sense and it fit what they're trying to do, and it made a lot of sense to put me in it. And that was enough for me. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'd love to interrogate him more, but maybe one day we'll get more of that. But I think in general, it is part of it's a large part due to the community. It's I mean, I think not everybody has the chance to talk to people that work for Topps, that work and create the cars that they love. And I think that has been such a pleasure for me to just know how much they actually care, how much they think about on their side, how much work goes into this. I interviewed one of their product managers, senior product managers on opening day here for Ginter, and it was a really enlightening 30-minute conversation. It's on my Instagram now. About what goes on behind the scenes, and it's a lot, and they really care. And I've met them. They love the community. They love the support that we all give. They love the positivity. Mostly, there's not all positivity, but that's
Yeah.
okay too. We're all human. I think I met the guy. His name is Clay. He's one of the VPs of product development at Topps. I met him at the National 3 years ago. I was introduced to him by the great Alan Nars, who runs Big League Cards in Orlando. And I was introduced to Alan by this guy named Jeff, who has been a big fan of my page for a long time and does a lot of their like brand video. And it just always had nice things to say. I just met him. He introduced me to Alan. Alan introduced me to Clay. And then it's kind of all history from there. Clay is the guy that pitched this set. He's a good dude. He understood why I love this set. He was really happy that somebody cared enough about this to create a whole page about it. And then since then, growing the community even more, and made friends with folks, and just support a lot of the collecting stuff that they do, and they support what we do. And I'm sure there's more to it than that, but it really is about those relationships. Honestly, the relationships are huge for anything like this to happen. And so, like, the more you can put yourself out there, the more of these kinds of good things that can happen. So that's what I think. That's my story. I'm sure there's more to it on their side, but definitely that's the story I have here. Oh, and I'll say too, every year they ask the community on their on their IG page, who should be in Ginter. And last year, a large contingent of people went out and said my name there. So I'm sure that has something to do with it as well. It's nice to hear the repetition of that. So again, really just thankful to the community for making something like this happen. It doesn't happen on my own. It's kind of a win for everybody.
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's every kid's dream to be on a baseball card. I'm sure everyone wanted to be holding the bat and be making the major league money as well, playing in front of thousands. But how cool is it, the fact that they asked you to be a part of it, and as you said, the community putting your name out there as well. And like, I think that says a lot about you and what you've helped to do here on Instagram, and helping to make people feel like it is a community. And
I appreciate
so
that,
congratulations on that. So you have a regular card in there, right?
I don't have a base card. I just have 10
card.
autos. I have 10 autos, and I don't
Okay.
mean to say just have. I have 10 autos, and that's more than I ever thought I'd have, so I'm very happy with that. We've got 10 autos. They're all inscribed with a unique inscription too. So I guess technically they're all one of ones, if we want to put it that way. So yeah, there's 10 of them. They're all stamped on the back of 10. So I found one. I did find one. It's on its way home, I think. Tracking has not moved in a few days, so I'm a little worried. But I did at least find one in the wild through some help with the community, of course. And so that's on its way home, but hopefully I can find more. I don't know. We'll see.
Now, is the goal to have all 10?
No, the goal is to have one. I'd love to have one. There's one that signed first card, and then there's one that signed Nails, which is my daughter. Her nickname is Nails because she'll rip with me, and people affectionately have called her Nails, and so I made sure she's represented in there. So I'd love to have that one of all of them. But the goal is just to have at least one. I'd love to have a few, but that's pretty unrealistic. That's I try to be an irrational optimist, but if I can get one, I'll be happy.
Now, was there when you're signing them, is there any pressure to not mess up the signature, number one? And then was there like, all right, what am I gonna write? Here's the 10 things I'm gonna put on each one. Like here's each one. What I'm gonna little caption I'm gonna put on there.
Oh my gosh. I was practicing for weeks. I was like, let me try a few different versions. I get some feedback from my wife. I found one I loved, and I would just do it over and over again and try it. And then I get into the room and I start writing, and my hands shaking. I'm so nervous. These autos did not turn out as nice as all my practice autos, of course. So they don't look as great as I hoped they would, but they still look better than 90% of the other autos we see out there. So that's good. And then the inscriptions, I had a list of like 15 or so that I was going with. And then I whittled it down to 10. And I went into that room with my phone out, and I was ready to sign those inscriptions on there. But the inscriptions, again, are like, so you can just see the nerves in my writing. So it's a little unfortunate, but it's also like, it's a good part of the story as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and the fact that you got to sign your own baseball card is just in your favorite product. It's just I would imagine an awesome feeling to be able to do, and now you found one, and it'll be awesome to see when someone pulls the second one and the third one, and who knows, in like 10 years when someone's cracking a box of these and they're like, who's this guy? You'll have that satisfaction.
There was when Topps posted about it on their X account, and rightfully so. Plenty of people were like, "If I pull this, I'm going to be so pissed." And I just kind of laughed at each one of them because I get it. I would understand. I promise. I promised all of them I'll make it worth your while if you do pull it. But I get it. I wouldn't want to pull me either if I didn't know who I was. So I get it. But it's funny. Like I went into it thinking I might go my whole life and never see one of these. So the fact that we've already seen one of them is just beyond belief. This entire experience, this entire year has been surreal. So it's been insane.
Yeah, no, that's I could understand that feeling. If you don't have a connection to, if you're not on Instagram and you just want a Mike Trout or a Shohei Ohtani, and you pull a Jason Anderson, and it's like, okay, well, I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's more impressive than like a rookie you've never heard of, because especially a pitcher, like those pitchers they wash out pretty quickly, but you're going to be around. You might have a longer career on Instagram than some of these young pitchers. I hate to say it, but pitchers break. Yep. Hopefully you're durable enough to go a few more years here.
I won't break. And I agree with you. I think that's a good way of looking at it. They're also numbered, so there's inherent scarcity in it. So, let's we'll make it worth it. If I can find somebody that's ready to sell it, I'll make it worth their while.
That's awesome. I would love to say you were the first person on this podcast that has their own baseball card, but unfortunately you're not. You're the second. She is a Toronto Blue Jays fan. She is part of the Jay Bird Watching podcast. She actually got hit with a foul ball, and she had a Topps Now card. So it was a pretty good story on that part. So you are my second baseball card person. I haven't had a player yet, so you're still you guys are part of my set now. I need to make sure I'm looking for your cards as well here. So
I love that. Oh man, that would be a good story with her too. So
her name's Lizzie McGuire. She I guess it was a couple years ago now. So she got her own Topps Now card that was only given to her, and she has them. She's auctioned them off for charities and things like that. So it's a really good story. She's an awesome person. Even though she's a Blue Jays fan and they beat my Yankees, so I still consider her.
You don't have to like her interests at all, but I'm honored to be after her. That's a great first timer for you.
Yeah, you didn't have to get hit in the face with a baseball. So I mean, you may have at some point, but that's not what got you on the card. So I will,
That's for sure. Yes. Yeah. I actually got hit with a baseball bat when I was probably 8 or 9, knocked like 6 teeth out of my mouth. So luckily that's not why I'm on a baseball card.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you did it for for a lot easier way of getting on there.
Yes. Yeah.
So just talking a little more about the Ginter product that has there been you mentioned one card that was one of your favorites. Is there any other one that stands out from the 2006 set that really is like, this is the card? If I had to display one card, this would be the one.
Outside of 2006?
Uh, Either one. I'll ask you for both, the 2006 and an outside the 2006.
Whew, that's a tough one. Outside of 2006, this is a good question. So actually, I pulled this daguerreotype 1 of 1 Mike Trout card this year. So I've got the redemption card. I don't have it here yet, but this is what it'll look like. It'll look something like this guy here. This will be displayed proudly in my shelf behind me, constantly here forever. So I'm going to say this one and cheat. It's not here yet, but when it is, it'll be fun. And then beyond that, with 2006, man, these printing plates. I pulled them out here for us. So we've got Statue of Liberty. We've got some greats here with John Wooden. We've got a Carl Lewis. And look at these things. This is the magenta one. I love the magenta ones because it doesn't include a lot of the writing and it looks like a tintype.
Yeah.
Love the frames that year too. And then we've got all our Western guys. Billy the Kid, Buffalo Bill. Nope, sorry. This is Jesse James and then Buffalo Bill.
Those are
So
awesome.
those kinds of cards, man, these printing plates with the frames that they have and just the way, the subjects that they use that year, I'm in love with them. I am obsessed. I'm always looking for printing plates. I think they frame really well. I put a lot of them up here on the shelf, just kind of rotate them in and out. And, when I'm in here working, just walking around, looking at my cards, it's nice to be surrounded by them. So I put those up there. I'll put this daguerreotype up there. And I'm probably going to annoy everybody with all kinds of videos and pictures constantly of this daguerreotype. So that'll be an obsession for a while.
Hey, I mean, especially it's a Mike Trout. You got one of the all-time greats. It's definitely a cool one too. So I don't blame you.
Can't wait to hold it.
I will say I forget what year they did it, but it was an American Revolution set, and I'm a big history guy. So I mean, Allen and Ginter is one of those sets that, like, I always try to check out what are the subsets, because those are the ones that really, they'll be the American Revolution or a Civil War or presidents or you posted it the other day, a sheet of the presidents throwing out the first pitch. Like, those were awesome. And now I'm like, had I missed that? And now I need to get some of those. But those are the ones that really draw me in, just because of the fact that I love history and that they're on a card, and it's just so cool to see them.
The people who love Ginter, the ones who have known about Ginter for a while and who collect it and love it, I guarantee you every single one of them is a history fan. There is such a crossover between Ginter and the way it looks, but the things that it celebrates, especially in the early days of Ginter, there were so many more historical figures. There was so much more attention paid to that. I hope that we get back to that eventually one day. It doesn't have to be all of it, but it could be more of it. But there's such even just, they're making tintypes of cards. They're making these daguerreotypes of cards. This is such an homage to old history and the way that we used to enjoy anything. So yeah. I love that about Ginter. And Ginter gets to be innovative every year. They get to try things out. They find all kinds of new collectors that way, and most of them are history fans. They're history nuts. I personally love San Francisco Gold Rush history. I know so much about it. That's why my page is called Ginter Gold Fever. That's why my mascot is a miner. Is so much of the connection from that to treasure hunting with what we do, and it's nice to find that connection. When I found that connection, I was like, I'm just going to run with this, and it's going to inform everything. So there's no great Ginter collector that I've ever met that doesn't love history.
Yeah, I should have had it with me. I have two of them. I have two of the Jim Koch, the owner of Sam Adams Brewing, with the denim piece of cloth from his denim shirt. I have two of them. I I was like, I forgot I had one. I bought the second one. I'm like, if I keep going, I'm gonna have his whole shirt in here, and that might be a little weird. But I'm leaning into it. It's baseball and beer. I got it. I'm going all the way with it at that point.
Not weird at all, man. Lean into that. Let me know. Have you seen any of his printing plates at all?
I have not.
Okay. Now I know when I find that, now I know who to go to.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I love this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add it to my list.
it's very cool, and I thought it was awesome that he got his own card, and I love Sam Adams beer. It was one of the first craft beers I ever like had back in the day, and still, drinking an old Fezziwig or a Sam Summer, and that kicks off the summer season for us. So it was just so awesome to see him on one of the cards, and when I was just going through a box at a card show, and I saw him like, well, I'm buying $5, you got it.
Hell yeah.
And then the next summer I ended up buying the second one too.
Nice. Sometimes I'll buy old Ginter collections from people. Like I was saying before, there's family members who will reach out and I'll help them. If I ever find some good Sam Adams cards, what year was that from? Is that 2015, 16, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably around 16.
Yeah,
I'll double check.
16.
I'll get you the where that was from. I'm sure
I'll find
I will
out.
post it on Instagram as soon as I find it.
There you go. Post it. I'll share it. I love that.
Absolutely. Cool. Awesome. So those are just like the types of cards that just kind of draw me in, and I will say some of the newer non-sports cards in there, sometimes I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I'm like, I gotta look up like, who is this guy? And sometimes it'll be a YouTuber my kid knows, and I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense. I don't know him.
No, man. You and I were talking about before we recorded. We're getting old. We're feeling old. We're getting old. I honestly don't know most of these people either. It's fun to learn about them. I'll turn the card over when I'm ripping live on Instagram and just read it and then learn more. My daughter, when she's with me, I'll ask her if she knows who it is. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. And then we have a fun little tradition every morning. We'll just pick a random insert card and read it at the morning breakfast. And that's honestly been a really cool way to teach them some things, but also teach me some things too. So I'm with you. There's a lot of. I mean, I'm in the set now, so you know that it's all going downhill. But it definitely is a lot of people that we don't know, but so many of the younger generations know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and as you said before, the people at Topps do care about cards and what goes into it and the design, and I know now that Fanatics is a part of it, Topps sometimes will get that that bad rap that things are not the same, and I know I was worried about it as well when everything was happening with acquisitions and the licensing and everything, but sometimes you look at a card and you're like, wow, people really they thought about this. They wanted this to have some, to be an awesome card or to show off this. And you see the photography. And I follow a lot of photographers who have their photos on cards, and it's like, there was thought behind all of this that you don't really think about when you're just flipping through, and it's like, I don't need this guy, or who wants this one? And but how much goes into the creation of these cards?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I would not want to be running a card brand right now. That's not easy. So I get it. And honestly, it would be great if everything stayed the same, and then also the market stayed the same, and people liked the same things over time. Some of that would be great, but it's just you just have to. I've had to do it myself. You just have to adapt. You got to accept the new changes that are happening. There's all kinds of new stuff in Ginter this year that nobody was expecting, and so much of it is so cool. Some of it you'll never see again, I'm sure, too. They're testing things out and experimenting with the audience, and it's just fun to be a part of it all. It's never going to be like it was before, and next year is going to be way different than this year. So you just kind of have to accept it all and try to enjoy it.
Yeah. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's something you enjoy, and I know some people use it as a it's an investment. It's a job for some. It's something different for everybody. But I think for a lot of people, it's just I like looking at cards. I that's what got me into baseball. I think I liked baseball cards, the collecting aspect, more than I liked baseball at first. and that got me more into the game. So I wanted to like know and see these people in action. They were just cardboard at one point, and then they were real on my TV, and it kind of escalated from there. So I think whatever way gets you into the game, whatever way gets you into baseball, and helps you find that community and connection, and that's what connected me to the kids on my street. We would go down to the corner store with $3 and be able to get 2 packs of cards, a bag of chips, a drink, and some now and laters, and have entertainment for the rest of the afternoon.
Wow. Did you grow up in the 1920s Main Street, USA somewhere?
No, unfortunately, I could have made that $3 go real far. But yeah, when I miss 50-cent packs of baseball cards, and being able to flip through just looking for a Don Mattingly or a Jose Canseco card, and like you didn't care who. There was no like one of ones, or it was just I want the guys I like. I want the stars, and when you pull. No offense to Jose Rijo, he was a great pitcher. He was a good pitcher, but I wasn't looking for a Jose Rijo. I wanted a Jose Canseco.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Remember those like Don Russ and Fleer days, upper deck with the Nolan Ryan throwing a football card. Was it like Craig Jeffries? That rings a bell to me. Like this rookie card that everybody was so much after, and it was in every pack. It was just fun, I miss the $3 packs, let alone the 50-cent packs. I'll take a $3 pack now. But yeah, it's changed a lot. It's never going to go back to the way it was. There's so much more to enjoy now too. There's so much more diversity of types of cards and subjects, and it's been amazing.
Absolutely. And it's been amazing talking to you, Jason. So I appreciate you coming on. Can you let everyone know where to find you, communities, things you want to plug, anything you want to go with here?
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, really, it's been really nice chatting with you too. I like this conversational approach. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you so much for having me on. My main one is on my Instagram page. It's at Ginter Gold Fever. We celebrate my favorite set of all time, 2006 Allen Ginter, but we celebrate everybody else's Ginter collection, and some non-Ginter collection sneaks in there too. Every week we have a weekly reel on Sundays at 6:30 a.m. Pacific. It goes out. It celebrates the weekly wins for people. So that's been a lot of fun. I've got a Facebook page called Topps Allen Ginter, The Rare Treasure, if you want to join that. Those are the 2 big ones. It'll redirect you in different ways on my Instagram, but that's the one that I spend the most time on. So thanks for letting me plug that. And again, looking for the most annoying card ever, 2006 Vernon Wells Bazooka Back Mini. Please help me find this card. It'll complete my 20-year journey.
If you find it, you can come on the podcast. We can reveal it to Jason all together. So if it's sitting in your box, check your basements, check your attics, check wherever you keep your cards, and let's see if we can find this and help Jason out here.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. That would be such an epic way to end it all.
I would be more than happy to. So I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad to see more than just your hands opening packs. It's you can put your face on there a little more. Now that you're out there, well, 10 cards of you are out there. So I appreciate you coming on, and cheers and thanks again, and good luck with your searches here.
Same to you, sir. Cheers. Thank you so much for having me on. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. This has been the No Bad Hops podcast, the Baseball and Beer podcast. I'm your host, Anthony, and you can find me at Major League Brews. Make sure you're following on Instagram and wherever you get your podcasts. You can grab this and download, review, and help spread the word. We're going to be doing a lot more episodes coming up this winter. I got a lot of cool people lined up, so keep following, and thanks for being here. Cheers.